प्रभु तव मूर्ति विनोदकारी पलपन विसरे नहीं जो विसारी जुगल चरण सोल चिन्ह जेह नजर समीपे रहो हमारी एह नजर समीपे रहो हमारी एह। स्वामीनारायण भगवाननी जय, ठाकुरजी महाराजनी जय, सद्गुरुदेवनी जय। सर्वोपरि our dear utmost Wala Thakurji Maharaj, our divine Guru Parampara, and our utmost dear Wala Puja Guruji and all of you devotees, Jai Swaminarayan. Welcome back to another session of Loyadham's Q&A webinar. Every week now, there'll be bhaktos asking questions and we'll be answering according to the best of my abilities. So again for this week, let's take a look at our two bhaktos. Again, we have Eric Bhagat from New Jersey and Man Bhagat from Kentucky. Bhaktos, welcome. Jai Swaminarayan.
Swami.
Swamin, how are you bhaktos doing? Good?
Swami.
Good to see you again this week of Q&A webinars. Let's get started. Everyone now knows the routine, how this works. So I would like to have Man Bhagat ask his question first. Go ahead, Man Bhagat.
Just now, Swami, the question I had that I sent in was, how should an ideal devotee of Loyadham's character, speech, and personality be?
Very good. First and foremost, Loyadham is not just an organization, but it's like a name brand. Mercedes, iPhone, or you can say Samsung. All these are very, very successful companies, organizations, and moreover, reputed name brands. When anyone thinks about Apple, automatically quality, speed, reliability, smoothness. Sorry for all those Android users. I'm not taking any kind of sides here, but just giving the good facts out. Anyone thinks about Mercedes? Well, obviously, again, German engineering, very, very standard quality material, expensive, all these kinds of words come into mind. In the same way, when someone thinks of Loyadham, what should come into mind? First and foremost, Thakurji Maharaj. Our Sarvopari, Sant Shri Muktanand Swami has given us this idol of worship directly from Bhagwan Swaminarayan. And Thakurji Maharaj is with us, present. Nonetheless, Sarvopari Sant Shri Muktanand Swami. Immediately when the name Loyadham comes to mind, Muktanand Swami should pop right up, because he is the face of Loyadham. He is the one that everyone should be following the footsteps of. And third, when the name Loyadham comes, our Puja Guruji should come to mind immediately. Everything else is branches, but these are our roots: Thakurji Maharaj, Muktanand Swami, and Puja Guruji. Similarly, you asked a very, very precise question regarding how an ideal devotee of Loyadham's character, speech, and personality be. Well, to be ideal is kind of like being a role model, Man Bhagat. And, being a role model, there's a lot of people looking up to you. There's a lot of people monitoring you, watching you, each and every action, character, your personality, your tone in every moment. This is not a job which is only 8 hours, like a regular 9 to 5, but this is like a 24-hour job. And to be an ideal Loyadham Parivar Bhakta, devotee, is something that holds high standard and also is not easy to achieve immediately. I mean, Man Bhagat, I'm sure that, in your life as a Loyadham Parivar Bhakta, you've seen many devotees that exemplify good character, good moral fiber. But more so, if we want to give a perfect picture of how a Loyadham Parivar Bhakta should be, then I can only give examples that are live here in front of us. Only when we perceive. Now, if I talk about Parvat Bhai, who was 200 years ago in Maharaj's time, if I talk about Sura Khachar, if I talk about Dada Khachar, definitely their qualities are very, very ideal, very, very symbolic, very, very role model-like. But that's not going to do the job. But if I talk about those who you have spoken to, those who you have met, then definitely you can get kind of like a ballpark picture. Suppose you are blind and I put you in front of an elephant, a very calm elephant, and I told you to describe this animal. I just said, describe what you're feeling. If you touch its tail, you'll feel it's a snake. If you touch its trunk, you'll feel like a big snake. If you touch its big ears, you'll feel like you're touching like big leaves. But you'll not be able to completely describe what it is unless you are able to see. In the same way, those bhaktas that are in front of you, those santos that are in front of you, are those who you can see and perceive. Do you have any examples in mind that, maybe that you think or that these are very symbolic, ideal bhaktas of Loyadham? Man Bhagat, go ahead.
Yes, sir. If I was to say one, then I've seen Hare Krishna Bhagat from Georgia.
Okay, very good. And that's actually the example that I wanted to take, and you just hit it on the head. But before I get into his example, I wanted to first break down your question into subtopics: character, speech, and personality. Eric Bhagat, have you seen any devotees in such a manner where, they're symbolic, iconic in Loyadham Parivar?
Yeah, maybe not Bhagat, but Ranchhod Bhagat for sure. I've personally seen his actions and things, and I think, we should strive to be
Very
some of the
good.
characters.
Yep. Agreed. Definitely. 100%. Puja Guruji himself gives examples of Ranchhod Bhagat ji. So that's definitely accurate. Character, speech, and personality. 3 things you mentioned. Salt, sugar, and lemon. 3 things I mentioned. What does that have to do and correlate with these 3 things? Just like how an ideal behavior should have balance in character, speech, and personality. In the same way, in a good tasty meal, salt, sugar, and lemon are the balance that makes a meal good. Not spicy marchu, lal marchu, garam masala. All that other Indian masalas are just side elements. But in reality, if you have good salt, if you have a good balance of sugar and lemon, then anything will taste good. So, first of all, let's start with character. How should an ideal Loyadham Bhakta's character be? Puja Guruji says many times that wherever you go, whoever you meet, everyone should see Muktanand Swami inside of you. That's the character. How is Muktanand Swami's character? Gun Grayak. always taking positive qualities. One time, Maharaj was asking regarding a sant who was not of proper character. And you can see 90% negative or 99% negative, and very hard to see that 1% positive. That's how you can say that saint was in the time of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. So Maharaj asked Muktanand Swami, how is this saint? Muktanand Swami took his quality and he said, Shree and dhanma fer na pade eva sant che. Shree meaning women and dhan meaning money. He is not affected by these two things. There was many other things that Muktanand Swami could have took from that saint's life, negative, but he found something positive. In the same way, Muktanand Swami's life was positive. Muktanand Swami's life was encouraging. Muktanand Swami's life was, you can say, courageous. In the same way, our lifestyle, our character should be in the same way. I'm reminded of Puja Yogi Swami. In 2014 or 13, I remember, he came here to Loyadham, New Jersey. And, he was talking to me. We were doing a little satsang. And he taught me one thing. When you're eating, one bite at a time, either say Bhagwan's name or think of a sant's quality. So suppose Ranchod Bhagat. So you remember Ranchod Bhagat, you bite and you think, what a humble Bhagat. Move on, Niskam Swami. What a idol of saintliness. Move on, Surat Swami. What a very easygoing sant. So on and so forth. Yogi Swami taught how he lived or how he displayed his character by thinking positively in each bite of his meal of good qualities of santos and bhaktos. So that's how character should be. Speech. Sweet, truthful, and beneficial to all. I mean, you can say the tongue does not have any bones, but is able to break bones. And words hurt more than someone's fist. And as Loyadham Parivar Bhaktos, our speech should be very, very thought through. There's an old Indian saying that you should strain water once and strain your speech 100 times before speaking it. That's how important speech is. And finally, personality. Loyadham Parivar Bhakta's personality should be enthusiastic like Swami Shree's. Swami's personality was always enthusiastic, wanting to earn the Rajipo of everyone. In the same way, enthusiasm is something that comes from the inside. You can't really make it and try to display it. But if you have mahima, glory of Santo Bhakto Maharaj, then you can automatically become enthusiastic. So off of that, I wanted to show you a couple of videos in Puja Guruji's life example. What better to see instead of going far back in time to see Puja Guruji's lifestyle and how he lives an ideal life of a Loyadham Parivar, Sant, Sadguru, Guru, Devotee, however you want to put it. Let's see the video, please. Here you can see Puja Guruji serving magas to Thakurji Maharaj. This is a very small act, but he himself prepared it, he himself served it, and he himself is praying to Maharaj, eats it. This is a strawberry farm in Florida, and Puja Guruji himself, his character is very humble, that he himself is picking strawberries, not for picking strawberries, but that each and every plant there attains kalyan. Each and every fruit there attains kalyan. This is Puja Guruji's character. This is Puja Guruji's personality. Enthusiastic, humble, caring, so on and so forth. So, Man Bhagat, definitely something to consider is that we have everyone in front of our eyes. We don't need to go far. But as you mentioned, Hari Krishna Bhagat, or as we call him Bhagat Dada now, as Puja Guruji has named him Bhagat Dada, we want to take a look at how he's been living here for many months here. And I've been observing his life. And off of that, it's a very, very ideal life for a devotee of Loyadham Parivar. Balanced speech, balanced character, balanced personality. Let's take a look at the video of him and how he lives his life here in Loyadham, New Jersey Mandir. As you can see, this is Limdo, but he's actually a son of a millionaire. Yet he is doing the most, you can say, menial seva. This is Sakbaji of Santos, and he's not caring for anything. And every day he does pradakshina around the hall, as you can see. An ideal life of a devotee should be something like this. And as Loyadham Parivar Bhaktos, we should know that Puja Guruji has set examples. For Santos, obviously Puja Guruji's life is an example. And for devotees of Loyadham Parivar, Bhagat Dada's life is an example. So saying this, Man Bhagat, I hope I answered your question. Do you have anything regarding this? Maybe another question inside or anything at all regarding the question?
No, you answered it really clear.
Thank you very much. Maharajan Guruji's Krupa all the way. Eric Bhagat, please answer or please ask your question and we'll go about it that way.
Yeah, just a second, Swami.
Yes, ma'am.
This week I asked, what certain things can we do to please a great Purush, and how can we get closer to them? And in doing so, does getting closer to Santos and Satpurush like Puja Guruji help us get closer and more connected to Bhagwan?
Very good question, actually. Many people wonder regarding this, and there's many, you can say, misconceptions, but we want to clear everything up against this. First and foremost, let's break your question down. What certain things can we do to please a great Purush, and how can we get closer to them? Well, first and foremost, according to the Vachanamrut, if you want to please the great Purush, in the Vachanamrut Gadada, 1st chapter 58, Bhagwan Swaminarayan states, first Anandanand Swami asks, how can a person please such a great Purush? You exactly asked what Anandanand Swami asked. Shriji Maharaj explained, first of all, he must be honest with the great saint. He must also forsake lust, anger, avarice, infatuation, matsar, egotism, jealousy, arrogance, and all desires and cravings. Moreover, he should behave as a servant of the Sant and maintain a constant effort to eradicate egotism from his heart. While doing so internally, he should physically continue to bow to everyone as well. As a result, the great Sant will become pleased with him. See, Eric Bhagat, the hardest thing and the most important thing to do in satsang after entering it is to attain the Rajipo of the Ekantik Satpurush. And you ask this question in a very, very accurate manner where I'm sure there is many bhaktos striving, wanting to know, how can Guruji become happy upon me? How can Guruji become happy upon me? Everyone is striving. Everyone is a mumukshu. Everyone wants to attain the Rajipo of our spiritual leader, Puja Guruji. But no one knows the road. Well, here's the road. First and foremost, you have to be honest with the great saint. Suppose you are a patient at a hospital. You come and meet your doctor and you ask, or he asks you, what's wrong? Your head is hurting very, very intensely, but you say your stomach hurts. You don't say your head hurts. He said, my stomach hurts. So, believing you, the doctor writes a prescription for some kind of stomach medicine. Even if you take it for 100 days, that's not going to solve your headache, because you are not honest with the doctor. You did not clarify what is wrong with you exactly, precisely, pinpoint. In the same way, honesty is the best policy, as the saying goes, but it also plays a very important role in spirituality. Being honest with the great saint is not, when he asks you something regarding anything regarding your life, anything even personal, then you have to be honest with him, because the doctor in the form of a Satpurush wants to cure your disease, wants to cure your illness. He does not want to see you in pain. In the same way, if you are honest with him, then he will be able to clear your disease. That's number one. Number two, he must forsake lust, anger, avarice, infatuation, matsar, egotism, jealousy, arrogance, and all desires and cravings. Now see, Eric Bhagat, everyone is struggling with some kind of problems. Some may have egotism, some may have anger, some may have jealousy, some may have arrogance, etc., so on and so forth. But everyone is a patient of the doctor, meaning everyone belongs to the Satpurush. What the Satpurush wants to do is have you make an effort to try to remove these things, or at least suppress these things from your heart. He knows that these are very, very big, grand mountains, and you don't have enough dynamite to blow these mountains up. He has enough TNT to blow the mountains up. But first, he wants you to make an effort. He wants you to see that, you should make an effort, or if he removes these vices from your heart, then you will not have any value. An earned dollar gets value, not one that comes free. In the same way, he wants to see you try to remove these kinds of sobhavas from your heart to the best of your ability. He knows it's not possible. You know it's not possible, but it's kind of like making an effort. Moreover, he should behave as a servant of the Sant and maintain a constant effort to eradicate egotism from the heart. Egotism is the very factor, the very poison, the very venom, the killer agent that has been keeping us in the cycle of life and death, keeping us far from Maharaj, keeping us far from Guruji. So, to remove that is of a big feat. And to do that, you have to become the servant of the Sant. Just like how a king has its servants, just like how a CEO has his assistant, in the same way, we must also become the das na das of the Ekantik Satpurush. Hari ke das ai das. We were saying that last week. Dasana dasa thaine vadi je rahe satsangama. There's many different kinds of phrases and verses in our scriptures, our sastras, that have a lot of weight on becoming das. And what better idol than Swami Shri and our Puja Guruji? We see that in their lives, and from there we can get some kind of energy. And finally, while doing so internally, he should physically continue to bow to everyone as well. The Satpurush is watching all this, Eric Bhagat. He is marking down all this stuff. And from there, he is in a very long term giving that Rajipo. That Rajipo is like a Chintamani, a diamond. A diamond may be the size of my nail, but it has the value of at least $20,000 plus. Small diamond, very small. In the same way, Rajipo is something that's just small, it can't be seen. But it has so much value that due to that Rajipo, even unfortunate circumstances become fortunate. A beggar becomes a king, not in this world, but spiritually. Rajipo is something that we should strive for until the end of our life, because that is going to last. Everything else will vanish. So that's the main factor. So you also asked, and how can we get closer to them? By taking these steps automatically. It's a buy one, get one free policy. You do this, and automatically, the closer you'll become to the Satpurush. Does getting closer to Santos and Satpurush like Puja Guruji get you closer and more connected to Bhagwan? Of course it does. You can only go to the second grade after you pass the first grade. Let's take a look at this video. I want to show you of the sun, but I want to check if you pick something up. Go ahead, let's play that video. This is the sun in a very, very gigantic telescope. This is all it is. This is all I want to show you. There's nothing else. There's nothing special about this, but the sun, and that's it. All right. Now, question time from me. Eric Bogat, what do you see in this video?
Yeah, it was just a portion of the sun, but it looked like there was something moving alongside it.
Okay. Man Bogat?
Yeah, same thing. I saw like a black dot moving inside of it, but it was just overall just a sun.
You guys aren't, you're an architect major and you're an IT major. I get it. Yeah, that's Mercury right there, that black dot. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, which is only 36 million miles away. Only. How did it get that close? It has the most heat due to being the most closest to the sun, correct? Pluto is the furthest, so it's the coldest planet from the sun, correct? The more closer you go, the more heat and energy you get to the sun. In the same way, the more closer you go to the Satpurush, the more you get closer to Bhagwan. It's like 1 + 1 = 2, and 2 + 2 = 4. Only that equation fits for that formula. There's nothing else to it. In the same way, if you directly try to attain Bhagwan, well, he's like the sun. Let's put it that way. He's so bright. He's so powerful. He has so much energy radiating from him. There's so much radiation coming from the sun. In the same way, Bhagwan's luminosity, Bhagwan's greatness, Bhagwan's qualities are beyond the comprehension of any human. But there is this very picture I want to show you to make it very easy. You need some kind of medium in order to balance that equation out and reach Bhagwan in a very easy way. Let's take a look at this photo. Now, as you can see, there's a genuine connection. After coming into contact with the Akantik Satpurush, the true fruits can only be attained if a genuine connection is made with him. Of what use or benefit is a powerhouse next to our home if there is no connection with it? Similarly, we have attained Puja Guruji, who's an Akantik Satpurush. However, if we do not properly bond, love, and have a deep spiritual attachment or associate with him, then there will be no benefit. Now, take a look at this picture down there. Bhagwan, God, is our power plant on the left side. Power plants have the most energy. Power plants develop that electricity. Power plants are very, very, very heavy buildings. There's a connection from the power plant to 3 poles in the middle, as you see. Those are transmitters. Above, we call that the Ekantik Satpurush. And from these 3 poles, I'm sure you've seen these poles everywhere, wherever you go. You are, your home is yourself, or myself, let's put it that way. They've received that light. Now my question is, what if our home was directly connected to the power plant? Would we be able to get proper, sufficient energy? Electricity? Why is that? Eric Bhagat, why do you say why not?
No, because we don't have the means of being able to contain that much power.
Okay. Man Bhagat, what do you say?
I would say the same thing, Swami. It would be too heavy for household stuff to hold that much power.
I mean, your electric outlets, your nice LED TVs, your devices, everything electric will be burned and fried completely, without a doubt. And there would be no way to repair it unless you demo your house and get a new one. How could you replace all those wires and electricity? In the same way, this is an example, but it fits right into play with Eric Bhagat's question, that does getting closer to Santos and the Satpurush like Puja Guruji get you closer and more connected to Bhagwan? Yes, because the Ekantik Satpurush is a transmitter. Inside of him, Bhagwan lives and does each and every kriya. Santa hune hute vadi santare, ema Shri mukhe kahe Bhagavantare. Santa mana jo mari murti re, ema phera nathi ek rati re. Believing that there is no difference between Bhagwan and the Ekantik Satpurush is the very purpose or the very means to attain Kalyan. Understand, Satpurush is not Bhagwan, but Bhagwan lives inside of the Satpurush and operates through him, does each and every kriya. That means, how close are we, Eric Bhagat? How close is Mercury to the sun? Super close. In the same way, how close are we to Puja Guruji or Maharaj if we have met Puja Guruji?
We're right there.
Exactly. There you go. Answers your question. Satpuru, it's an automatic formula, as I said. All we have to do is keep connected to the transmitter. If we keep connected to the transmitter, then we're connected to Bhagwan, and electricity in the form of happiness, electricity in the form of shanti, peace, electricity in the form of divine qualities, electricity in the form of divinity itself, electricity in the form of stability, all comes inside of oneself due to having a connection with Puja Guruji, because he is directly able to grasp Bhagwan, because he has that spiritual level, and from there he is able to give to you in a very diluted manner. This is the formula, and anyone who tries this formula will be able to automatically experience Bhagwan. Nonetheless, all our Loyadham Parivar Santos are prime examples. Before, how were they? And how are they now? Due to Puja Guruji's relationship, there are Santos that have experienced Bhagwan's darshan. There are Santos that have spoken to Bhagwan. There are Santos that have deep affection for Bhagwan. Where did that all come from? When they came to this ashram, or when they came to this place, they had nothing. They did not know who Bhagwan was. They did not know what satsang was. No one knew. But after meeting Puja Guruji, after consulting how our life is for him, we Santos transformed because we connected with the transmitter. And due to connecting with the transmitter, we automatically connected with Bhagwan. So I hope that answers your question, Eric Bhagat. Do you have anything else regarding the question?
Yes, Swami, just, how can, us bhaktas stay connected to Guruji and Santos, right? Day to day, how do we continue to make sure that we keep that connection and also strengthen it as time goes on?
Very good question. Well, Eric Bhagat, as you know, it's a very, very modern and technology-based era. And right now, the best form is, suppose Puja Guruji is in India, or right now he's in Loyadham, Florida. The best way to stay connected with him is through phone, FaceTime, video call, however you want to say it. But connection with him is all upon our hands. A phone call away, and we're able to see him, have his darshan, talk to him, relate our problems or relay our problems, ask him something spiritual. That's all in our hands. Connection is something that you can do in this age very, very quickly. Before, in Bhagwan's time, if Bhagwan sent a letter to a sant, it would reach 2 or 3 days away depending on how far he is, through a messenger. Now, if it was such an urgent message, think about that urgency. Even if the person rode his horse as fast as possible, it will still take a day plus. But nowadays, you have connection through technology, and the best way is to call Puja Guruji. And one thing I always tell bhaktos, teenagers, young adults, yuvaks, is to message Puja Guruji every day, voice message. He doesn't read English, so voice message, Danvat se Jai Swaminarayan Puja Guruji, Eric Bhagatna, Danvat se Jai Swaminarayan Puja Guruji, Man Bhagatna, so on and so forth. But every week, at least once, a 30-second or a minute video call with him really gets our spiritual life vitalized, our spiritual life replenished, and we get more strength to move forward in fighting our vices. So video call is something important. In the same way, santos have also general phones that we use here. You can text, video call, and sometimes if you read something and you have a question, just text or say, I want to discuss a little bit, and that's how you stay connected. But everything comes from the side from Hari Bhaktos. Santos, there's 45, and Hari Bhaktos, there's thousands. Santos cannot reach out to everyone like that immediately. But definitely, Hari Bhaktos, if they have this kind of understanding, they're able to reach out whenever they want and get the proper spiritual guidance as they need to stay more connected in satsang. So I hope that answers your question. Man Bhagat, anything else you have to say?
No, sorry, all good.
Very, very good meeting both of you bhaktos today in today's live Q&A webinar. Hope to see all of you bhaktos in the near future. Next week we'll have another one. Jai Swaminarayan to all you bhaktos.
Yes, sir.
This one.